Hi, everybody. My name is Chris O'Neill from Ninth Level Games, and we are here tonight live on Twitch and all of the other things on Life Action Roleplay, hosted by Ryan Omega, the amazing behind the scene thing that's going to make everything happen super cool tonight. And I would like to introduce a couple of super rad people that have decided to not just play a game with me, but to play 3 games with me over the next couple of weeks. So, I'm going to start and introduce who has now become the person I've played the most games with this year, Mr. Michael Powell.
I am honored.
I just every time I'm playing on stream, it's like, oh, and Powell's going to be there. It's like, oh, that's great.
I am Michael Powell, and you can find me all over the internet on my social medias, which is usually at Mr. Kapow. That's MrKAPAO.
And joining us tonight is Ania Monet. Why don't you give us the deets?
Hi, my name is Anaya Monet. I'm on here sometimes. Sometimes I'm a fae. Sometimes I'm a snail princess from playing the Excellence. And this is my first time playing with everyone here, except for Pow. I'm used to playing with Pow, but yeah.
Apparently, all it is, Michael's just always on. He's just always on the internet playing.
I think Michael is like the eternal being through all this.
And we are excited to have our new friend Todd Stashwick join us.
I wandered in this room and y'all are humoring me. So, hi, I'm Todd Stashwick. I am losing the facial hair game to Michael right now. It is epic. I'm just stash envy. I'm Todd Stashwick. I'm honored to be here. Chris found me gushing about this game that I stumbled across in the internets, being an old school roller, and this intrigued me. And he's like, "Hey, do you want to come play it in front of people for the first time for you?" I'm like, "That's the best way to do something in front of a live audience." So here I am. If you wanna see what I'm up to, I'm an actor, a writer, a dad, a pet owner. At Todd Stashwick, TODDSTASHWICK on Twitter, at T Stashwick on the Instagram. That's all I got.
Roll. Yep. So I'm super glad. Todd, you haven't played Mazes yet.
I have not.
You have played the Excellence, so you've definitely played a polymorph game, but you haven't played Mazes yet.
Nope.
And Michael, you played Mazes with me.
Yep.
And you've also played Rebel Scum, so I know that you understand the core of the role play. So we're not going to spend a lot of time talking about the polymorph system. We're going to get into that, but we're going to do some things a little bit differently, because usually what we do when we're doing these streams is we jump in, we have some pre-gen characters, and we just rock and roll, and we just try to show you how much fun it could be. But in this case, what we're going to try to do is a mini campaign. So we're going to do a couple of connected nights with the same or similar characters, and so we're going to do some character creation tonight together as a group. I have a story that's already planned. So the first thing I want to do is talk a little bit about just safety at your table. Again, the 4 of us have never played a game before, so it makes a lot of sense for us to establish if there's some boundaries or limits that we don't want to cross. One thing that's very important to us at Ninth Level Games is that people enthusiastically consent to everything that happens at your table. So we want everyone to have a great time. And so if there's ever anything that's happening, feel free to just put up an X if you would like us to just stop. There's no questions asked. We'll just drop whatever it is and we'll move on. But in addition to that, are there any specific things in a fantasy role-playing game? We're going to do some urban fantasy, or urban style fantasy over the next couple of games. Is there things that you are concerned about or things that you would like us not to touch on?
No animal torture or child torture or anything like that, definitely.
It's always our joke, because Ninth Level's first game was Cobalt Ate My Baby. So we always start out and generally say, hey, we don't want any violence towards children unless we're playing Cobalt Ate My Baby. And then it's nothing but violence towards children.
I am 100% about violence towards kobolds, though.
It's 100%, yes. Killing kobolds is the primary piece. So
kill all kobolds.
No violence towards children or animals. If there's anything that's going to be animal related, I'll make sure to just veil it out. Right.
Sure.
I don't have any plans to throw any kids in fiery pits or anything.
If we come across a dead animal for a reason, that's a whole different story. If we're fighting wolves, clearly, but picking up a house cat and decided to vivisect. No, yeah, maybe you could eat it if you're hungry.
Okay. Any other pieces that we want to stay away from?
I feel like this is not going to come up, but like racism and sexual assault, preferably.
Yeah, sexual assault, definitely stay away from. Not something that we want to do. We're going to be playing a game with fantasy racists, so I hope there isn't any particular racism. If we feel that we're doing anything racist, let's just get an X up there and make sure that we step away. Michael, you good?
I'm good.
Good. I personally, I also say this: if there's anything that totally like squicks you out, that's a good time to say it. Like, my friend Bug, whenever I'm playing games with Bug always reminds me that they really hate spiders, because it just seems that like I always just throw spiders, and they're like, I don't know, mazes is just spiders as far as I know, and that spiders freak me out. So if you could stop making it about spiders, that would be great.
I long to be freaked out. Just don't rub any styrofoam cups together.
Oh,
see,
flinched.
See?
Thinking about that.
See,
I don't like that at all.
No,
Yeah.
that's what I'm saying.
Now I sort of want to do it on stream.
If you want like a mind flare to really mess with my head, he shows up rubbing, or the sound of Sharpies drying out. See,
Use a texture. I'm always like a texture person when it comes to this.
Yep.
All right, so I feel pretty good there. Again, if something is kind of weird, you want us to stop, just give us an X. No questions asked. We'll just move on.
Perfect.
Suggest that everybody do that. All of our games, we try to include safety rules. But there's a lot of resources out there on the internet these days, and I think, especially when you're playing, we play a lot with conventions, and it's just really important to create nice boundaries so that everyone feels really comfortable so that we can have the maximum amount of fun. That being said, we also like to O card things. So it's the opposite of the X card. If there's something you're really digging, let people know. Just be like, yes, more of that. I want more of that. Because sometimes you're just like, oh, I'm going to see if this is cool, if everybody's into this. So
perfect.
In addition to that, so what we're going to do is we're going to play a game over the next couple of weeks. I think we're going to have, it'll be not next week, but the following Thursday, and then it'll be a month from then, I think is what the piece is. We'll make sure that we get that out in the socials. Don't worry about it. All of this will be on Twitter, on Life Action Roleplay, and it'll also all be available to watch on Ninth Level's YouTube channel, after everyone drops. So we're going to play a game over the next couple of weeks in the City of Skull. The City of Skull is this massive, ancient, rotting corpse of a city. It's a city that the elves lived in, and they abandoned it when they abandoned the world 1,000 years ago. It was bad news then. It's bad news now. The people that live in this city, there's a lot of power and structure. It's completely rolled by a series of 4 different guilds and one church, the Church to the Sleeping God, that is like kind of in charge of everything and does everything. You are all going to be members of what's called the Guild of Midnight and Silver. It's one of the 4 guilds. It's a guild that's focus is really on generally more on things like magic and thinking and writing. And one of the guilds that makes up the Guild of Midnight and Silver is called Thieves' House. They pretend that it doesn't exist, but it obviously does exist. It is the Guild of Thieves. And Thieves' House is made up of a number of other organizations. One is called the Court of Pigeons, and that is where the beggars, whoever the current beggar monarch is called the Queen of Pigeons. So they are the court of the Pigeon Queen. One of the other pieces in Thieves' House is the Death Guild. That's who you go to if you would like to pay to get someone murdered. There's the Takers Union. The Takers Union, or just sometimes called the Takers. The Takers are if you would like someone to go and take something from someone else. That's who you would get. So that's your burglars and your arm breakers and your footpads and your cut purses. And then finally there is the Acquisitionists College, and the Acquisitionist College are more of the high end, but everyone, including the Guild of Midnight and Silver itself, says that Thieves' House isn't a real thing. It's just a myth perpetrated, where obviously everything we do is above board. In the City of Skull, heraldry is done usually with skulls. Todd, this is part of the reason why I asked that question earlier. The skulls of animals are pretty common, as are the skulls of people. But the Guild of Midnight and Silver particularly fancies the skulls of birds. So they adorn their buildings with bird skulls and ribbons of blues and grays. The thieves in particular are very fond of wearing a crow skull. Sometimes it's a real skull, sometimes it's just a little picture in silver. It could even just be a little silver triangle showing that idea, or a little blue triangle that's usually secreted and bird imagery expound. So any questions on that very quick dive about this idea?
So the Guild of Midnight and Silver, or GOMAS for short, they're sort of the top, and then these other the thieves' houses under that, and then in the thieves' house there are separate houses: the Court of the Pigeons, the Death Guild, and the Takers.
Right. And if you think about the Guild of Midnight Silver, has a lot of legitimate businesses that are part of it, right? So there's like
olive oil,
the Enchanters Union, and the Messengers Guild. Right, like, so it's a bunch of guilds that make up this one super guild. So if you want to think about it, it's like fantasy cyberpunk, right? There's only four guilds, and everything falls under them, but it's really a bunch of other guilds that have been conglomerated.
Okay.
Gotcha.
it's like a WeWork space.
Yeah.
It's more than that, because it's like the GOMAS, right? Like all of these other like vassal guilds make it up, because at the council there's just 5 guild masters that sit around a table. There's one from the Guild of Black and Gold, and the Guild of Rose and Iron, and
Got it.
Of Green and
like
Copper.
So those are the big houses, and then each house has their own little subdivisions within.
Right, and they're all different how they're set up. So like the Guild of Rose and Iron is the Warriors Guilds, right? And so
the Go-Rai.
It's mostly laboring and stuff like that. So if like if you want to hire someone because that's what they, dig a hole, or to put someone in a hole.
So it's Midnight and Silver that covers the darkness of death and stuff.
Yeah, so it's magic. It's magic. It's shipping. It's writing stuff down.
Love
all
it.
those.
I'm just envisioning it's bureaucracy. It's with all this little mini departments.
It's filled with all these different things, and of course, it's these guilds have been around for now at this point hundreds of years in this Warren city that they've taken over. That was built by the elves a long time ago, and so it's just all secrecy, and it's all secret. What order, what part of the order? Oh, you're in the Acquisitionists. Okay, but like, have you achieved the second order within the Acquisitionists? Because if not, I can't tell you this. And I see you're not wearing the jade ring, so obviously you're not a member of, it's super over the top, on that.
Not unlike the Court of Owls.
Not unlike the Court of Owls. And that would be an owl would be like a perfectly normal symbol. In fact, the Enchanters Guild, that's their symbol, right? Like they have a big owl because they are the wise magicians. And so they paint an owl on something, people notice their way. Now, you as a group, we're going to create characters together, and here's the thing: so you are all members of one of these organizations under Thieves' House. So the first question you have to ask yourself is, you have been given this possibly suicidal mission. And have you been given this mission because you screwed something up and this is your punishment? Have you done it because this is a test in order to rank up and get into that next level? Or are you on this mission because one of the people affected is close to you? Right? So there's been some people have gone missing, and some people say that it's a monster, and other people say that it's actually the Church of the Sleeping God. But we'll get to that in a second when you get it. But so those are the three ideas. What you're going to need to do is think of a character type or a concept, and then I'll help you build a character quickly that matches into that.
Cool.
Can I combine two of them?
Yeah.
Done.
There are no rules. There are only rulings.
Yeah, I'm just asking. Yes, I've heard it said.
You've heard this said.
Recently. Okay, cool.
Can I be just a dirty, nasty boy? Like, I want to be, I'm probably here because I'm definitely like the runt of my group. And they're
I have a straight up, there's a class right out of the book that I think will do exactly what you want.
Okay.
The filthy urchin.
Filth nasty urchin.
Yes. So the filthy urchin, you are part of the court of the Pigeon Queen.
Oh,
yes. Is that right?
Yeah.
So you are one of the one of the street beggars. And the thing is like, if you think about this, like beggars in the city, right? Like half of them are like legitimate beggars. They're like down on their luck, they're trying to scrape together and get a meal today. And the other half are actually part of this like extensive network of effectively spies and thieves who are also, begging, but they're more con artists than they are actual beggars. But so the filthy urchin, I like it. We'll come back to that in a second.
I have an idea that I want to play as kind of a goblin. Can I be a goblin first off? Is that possible?
You absolutely can be. So before you jump in, just because in the future when someone watches this, so all of this stuff is going to be this is all part of a book that will be coming out next year called City of Skull, Beyond the City of Skull, it's actually called. But so the goblins in the City of Skull are a little different than your traditional goblin. They think about everything you think about a goblin, except they're a little froggier.
This fits in my idea.
Okay. And they are ungendered.
Okay, that works.
Because they literally, how they procreate is in times of stress, they lay eggs and they put them all together like ostriches do. And then someone either sacrifices themselves to be burned on it, or they take someone that has died that the group loved, and they sprinkle their ashes. So the goblins have this like very distinctive way of so there's a bunch of cool stuff that we're doing with goblins. The other big race that's going to be in the book is literal giant rats. So goblins, humans, and giant rats.
Ooh, giant rats.
So
I like that.
Yeah.
you could super be a goblin. So
okay, I'm down to be a goblin. I'm thinking kind of it sounds like now you're going to be kind of like a thief or a con artist or something like that, right?
Yeah, I think like a thief. Not one brain in my head though.
Can I be a spellcaster that maybe specializes in curses?
yeah, I like it. A member of the Death Guild.
Sure.
Yeah, I like it. Do you have any thoughts?
I even have a name.
Yeah. So I'm thinking, based on like your choices of like, here's what your motivator was. I'm thinking of like, I'm picturing Vi from Arcane. And so
Yeah.
So she's but I want her to be an elf. And she's an assassin, but she was asked to kill her sister. And so so she screwed up by not doing the job, but because it affected a person that she cared about.
Okay.
So it's like Vi was sent out to kill Jinx, and she's like, no. But it was like it got close. Like it was, she's like, I have to carry this out because of reasons. And here we are on the top of a building in the rain, and Imagine Dragons is playing, and I'm about to off my sister, and I can't do it. So I had to drag myself back to the Death Guild and go. I couldn't do it.
I have no knowledge of League of Legends, like zero. Never played it. Don't know anything about it. But that cartoon was awesome.
Oh my god!
And that scene was amazing.
So that's I'm coming at it from that. So she's an elf assassin with this like she was one of their top, which is why they sent her. And when she opened the scroll to see the name of the person that she had to do, it was like, oh.
So in this universe, the elves are mostly gone. They're the ancient quasi.
Hence why she's so
elf.
good at her job.
Right. So the last elves, right? The ones that are left are all kind of. They're little. I see in the back. You got a Stormbringer poster back there. The white wolf. So they're almost kind of Melnibonian, right? Like the elves, right? Like people are afraid of the old elves. So the last elves that are around kind of hide it usually. So
she wears a hood and her hair long.
Yeah, absolutely. So we're gonna start out. Your first edge, Todd, is going to be what's called elf lineage.
Elf lineage.
Right, because you are being an elf is like a special thing, because of that you need to pick one of the five domains. So the domains are kind of the core elements of the world. Are you the domain of sky, the domain of sea, the domain of forge, the domain of earth, or the domain of night?
Night.
Okay, so you are from the night elves. Right, so you can see in the dark, maybe you can hear, you can sort of hear the voices of the dead, so there's some things there. As a filthy urchin, the first thing and the most important thing about you is that so
you're filthy.
I'm looking stuff up in the book. You are always quiet. So your first edge is quiet, and quiet represents all of the things about stealth, right? So since this is a polymorph game, you have an edge. When you're doing anything, you're like, oh, I'm gonna sneak over there, and I'm gonna say like roll boost. You're gonna say, oh, but I'm quiet, and I'll say, oh, roll that with advantage because obviously you are stealthy and good at that. And so let's actually go through the urchin, since this I think is going to be the easiest one to do. As a penniless beggar, are you streetwise or dexterous? So are you good at crimes, or are you good with your hands?
I'm dexterous. I'm not very good at crimes at all.
Are you agile, fast, or keen, meaning you have good senses?
Ooh, my brain says to go be a speedy boy.
All right.
I want to be fast.
You are quiet, dexterous, and fast. Those are your edges. And your class is filthy urchin. Michael, as a goblin like curse person, do you think that you are more like is it more like natural, or are you like more like a witch? Or is it like a warlock? Like, are you like where do your curses come from?
What would the difference between witch and warlock be?
So a warlock is like, oh, hey, I get my power from this dark god over here, or like, I talk to this demon or something. Where a witch is just like, oh, well, I'm smarter than you, and I know that if I do these things, you will feel bad.
We'll go with a witch then. I like that.
The wise witch, as a wise witch, you always have magic. What kind of magic would you like to have? Would you like to have sky magic, forge magic, sea magic, earth magic, or night magic?
Which would hexes usually kind of fall under?
So that's actually a great question. The good thing is there's actually a real answer, which is why I'm looking that up so that I don't just normally I don't have to look things up.
I'm always causing trouble. I'm always causing trouble.
To the books.
So high maintenance.
Yeah.
If you're really looking to
You're so goblin.
hexing is like everything that's like kind of normal. Like you can hex anything, but if it's just about really on the hex side, then instead of being about one of those pieces, you can actually just be
Like probability control, kind of.
The school of enchantment.
Okay.
So instead of being one of the domains, it's one of the schools. So you have enchantment magic, which is focused really on hexing, which if you think about it is all about making someone else's rolls bad.
Yeah.
It's basically how it would work. If I was going to hex you, that's what it would look like.
I'm just gonna F up someone's day.
And then you're gonna have you're gonna do that as an enchanter. Are you lore wise or nature wise? So do you know about weird things or do you know about nature?
You know what? I hex and know things.
I'm assuming that's lore wise.
Yeah.
God.
And are you cunning, learned, or do you have a familiar?
I am dreadfully cunning.
I like it. So you are cunning, lore wise, and you have enchantment magic. And your class, we're gonna call a cunning, or it's the wise witch is the name of the class. So we have a wise witch, we have a filthy urchin, and we have an elf assassin. Luckily, what we do is we have a thing that says the Nighthawk assassin, but we're just going to replace one of the questions with the fact that you're an elf.
Okay.
So the Nighthawk assassin, the elf assassin is always an elf, obviously. As a hard killer, are you accurate or deadly?
Deadly.
So you are advantaged when you are dealing damage.
Okay. And does that go under edges?
It's an edge, yes.
Okay. Advantage.
Your first edge
on...
is elf lineage. Your second one is deadly. Are you agile, fast, or keen? So,
well, define keen.
You have very good senses.
I'll go with keen.
Keen. All right. Nice. We have a wise witch, a filthy urchin, and
I like how I said that like I've never heard the word before. Define keen.
Well, I mean, it doesn't mean.
No, I know.
It doesn't mean that
obviously
you're like
fast and agile actually had very clear applicable
cool,
things.
You know,
keen. I was like just seeing how you applied it mechanically.
Quick question: is lore wise and cunning, are those considered edges?
Yes.
Okay, cool. I just want to.
And so is enchantment magic. So you have enchantment, lore wise, and cunning. Those are your three edges.
Gotcha.
Okay, cool.
And so I think that obviously, Michael, your goblin is a member of the Death Guild, as is Todd's elf.
Mm-hmm.
And as we said, the Court of Pigeons for the filthy urchin. Now we have a really important question.
Was there a real question? Was there one more edge that I missed? Because I only have three.
Nope, you should only have three.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you.
3 edges and a class name.
Okay,
sometimes you're
for
going
me is what again?
Nighthawk assassin.
Actually, I was wondering, would it be possible for, because I like the idea if we all come from a different like
Yeah,
department.
You want to be from somewhere different?
Yeah, because kind of a Avengers Assemble type of situation.
Yeah,
I was thinking, could I be part of the Takers Union?
yeah,
then?
absolutely. So like I like the fact that you're kind of like you're like a leg breaker, but a magical leg breaker.
Yeah.
That's cool.
Like, hey, if you don't do what we say, if we don't do what we say, the goblin's going to cause you to have warts.
Yeah, you see the crowds part and then the goblin standing there.
You'll
Right.
have a very, very bad day.
You're going to have a bad day. Curse.
And
Every day.
Wallace Shawn steps forward.
Inconceivable. We did a recording where with our kobold puppets, like a table read of Princess Bride, and me getting so far into Wallace Shawn that I couldn't stop it.
You can't go full Shawn.
You're in the place of Sean, and you
Yeah.
couldn't get it.
Yeah,
I just couldn't get out. I couldn't get out of the voice. I was just trapped there. I was like,
being John Malkovich. Yeah,
Like, what a place to be. Like, would you want to leave?
it is very difficult, and I can definitely tell you that when you stop streaming and then you go talk to your wife and you're like, but honey, she's like, no, go away. You go to bed right now, reset. We'll talk to you tomorrow.
Just crying, like, I didn't marry Wallace Shawn. Sobbing.
What?
I made different choices.
Inconceivable. The cliffs of insanity. Anyway. Now we have a really important question is each one of you is going to need to determine what your role in this group is, right? And by that, we're going to determine what die you're going to roll in the game. So are you the Paragon? Are you really good at your edges? And you're good at thinking and doing stuff, or are you the Vanguard? You're going to be good at the running and the jumping and the moving around. Are you the warrior? Are you really good at swinging a sword, hurting people? Or are you the sentinel, and you are the shield that guards the party? And so think about how you set yourself and which role you want to take in each of those pieces.
Which would kind of a support character, because that's what I'm envisioning my character as.
So the D4, the Paragon,
okay,
basically will have the most, for you, would have the most magic.
Mm-hmm.
So that might be the way you want to go if you want to.
If I was the blade between the ribs, what would I be?
The fighter, the D8.
Yeah, that's what I am.
Anaya?
I feel like it's Vanguard for me.
Yeah, I bet to say on the fact that you're like, hey, I want to be a fast boy.
Yeah, I'm good at two things, and that's running and
and running some more.
There's no second
Words
thing.
or away. Doesn't matter.
Wherever you
right.
tell me to go.
So you are going to be the Vanguard, which is the D6. So that is under roll.
Roll.
All of your aspects, all three of you, your aspect is shadow, because we are all playing. Yeah, we're all playing, sneaky boys. So
I'm gonna go grab my fighter page.
there you go. Todd printed out some character sheets. He wants to use them correctly.
That's so fun.
Michael, you are going to be a Paragon, so that's the D4.
Oh, I thought Paragon, yeah.
And Todd is going to be the fighter, which is the D8. So in our die roll, you can actually go ahead and put those numbers in. Now what you need, everyone's going to need a name. So just so we'll go through this again. Michael, you are the Paragon. You are the D4. Mm-hmm. You are a wise witch who has enchantment, lore wise, and cunning.
Yes.
And you are part of the Takers Union. And because you're a Paragon, you have 4 hearts and 4 stars.
4 hearts and 4 stars.
Anaya, you are the filthy urchin. You are a Vanguard, who's a D6. You're quiet, dexterous, and and fast. You are part of the court of the Pigeon Queen. And you have 6 hearts and 3 stars. Todd, you are a Nighthawk assassin. You are a fighter. That's the D8. You have a night elf lineage. You are deadly. And you are keen. You are a member of the Death Guild. You have 8 hearts and 2 stars. Now we need some names.
Oh, I worked ahead. I got a name.
You got a name?
Yeah. I'm Grimble. Grimble. Grimble.
Grimble. Grimble the cursor. Like it. What about our filthy urchin?
My name is Loudness Stronghold, because everyone made fun of me for not really speaking very loudly. That's my name.
Loudness Stronghold.
Yep.
Love it.
And I look like I'm going to blow away with the wind, and I've never seen motion in my life.
So you are legitimately actually filthy. You're a tiny little waif.
I'm a tiny little wave.
And what about Todd? What about your assassin?
She is Bella Bonk, B-A-N-Q. Bella Bonk.
B-E-L-L-A-B-A-N-Q.
Bella, and then her last name is Bonk, B-A-N-Q. And again, without the magenta hair, picture Vi from Arcane, hood up, hands wrapped, elf ears covered, keeps a low profile. Maybe the Priss eye makeup, the black mask across the eyes, makeup, and it's done quick. Boom.
Oh, from Blade Runner.
From Blade Runner.
You're mixing your fandoms.
I call that the smear.
You're
So
talking
we'll
the
do the
inside of my
Fox.
head, Chris. The inside of my head.
Okay. Loudness, he?
He, they.
Mm-hmm. Traditionally, goblins don't understand what gender is, but that doesn't mean that you can't have a gender.
You know what? We're just gonna go with they, them.
Yeah, sure. Goblins in my idea for these goblins are that, like, when people are always like, so you know what's your gender, they're like, I don't understand what you mean. Like, I have not yet.
Grimble is Grimble.
I haven't died. I'm a Grimble, right? Grimble, Albus, and Bella. Is Grimble on this because they screwed something up? Because they're trying to get to the next level, or because someone is involved that they are personally entwined with?
You know what? Let's go with Grimble F something up at some point, and this is kind of a punishment, but Grimble doesn't think it's a punishment. He thinks it's just kind of, they think it's just, hey, we're gonna have some fun.
And what about Loudness?
I think that's definitely a punishment, but I feel like the other kids were like, you should go on this mission because I think you'd be really good at it. I think it was one of those like double dog dares between like 17-year-olds.
Sure. Yeah. Like, oh, you wouldn't, I mean, you couldn't do this.
You couldn't possibly do it. And they're like, I don't know, maybe I couldn't. And they're like, no, you could do it. You should go do it now.
So I like the fact that all of you instinctively know that being sent on this mission is a bad thing. but all of you have found a way to rationalize that you didn't do anything wrong in order to get this punishment.
It's called compartmentalizing.
My whole life is wrong, so you know what? It's fine.
All right. So we have a die roller. We have characters. Does anyone have any questions before we get into the first part of?
Really quick, Todd, is Bella pronouns real quick?
I put it in the thing. It's she, her.
Oh, cool.
All right. So in traditional mazes fashion, we're going to start at the door to adventure. You have all you've all gotten all your gear together, everything's ready, you're ready to rock and roll. Excuse me, new mazes characters get 2 wealth. We're just going to assign all that wealth into treasure for the group. So you as a group have 3 treasure. At the start of this, you have 0 darkness. We have 3 treasure. I have that. We have 0 darkness. 0 darkness is a good place to be. 3 treasures, it's a fine place to be. The 4 loudness and Bella. You guys can spend a treasure at any time. You don't have to ask the group's permission, even though it is a group resource. You can spend that treasure to basically effectively be any kind of equipment that you might need, right? So you are assumed to have everything you need in order to do your job. So Bella has all of the weapons that she might need, and hidden amongst the filth and the different layers of clothing, attempting to pretend that you have a body underneath that piece. You have your daggers and whatever else you might need in order to continuously run away. I think your equipment seems to be primarily a pair of deceptively good shoes.
Yeah.
Grimble has. What was that?
Oh, it's just like the queen bought them for me.
Yes. Yeah, these are really nice shoes. The queen of the pigeon court said to Loudness that we're gonna pretend that you didn't lose all of that stuff that you lost, and you're gonna go on this mission for me, and you need to keep the others in check because they're bad kids. They've done bad things. One of the things about the Pigeon Queen is that everyone thinks that she actually talks to pigeons. But the thing is she actually does talk to pigeons. Like basically every pigeon's another set of eyes for the Pigeon Queen. And she says, unfortunately, you are going down into the sewers. And I don't have eyes down there. My predecessor, the King of Rats, that was his place. As the Queen of Pigeons, I try to make everything upstairs. But we have lost one of our most shining members, Dame Madness. She was an older woman, famous for screaming and yelling at people on the corners near the Temple District in order to get money, but also at the same time knew everyone that was going in or out of witch temples and what they were doing, and she is missing. Grimble.
Sorry, I wasn't sure if that was a scene or not.
Oh no, I'm sorry. Okay. I'm just trying to give you the setup.
Oh, thank you. That's great.
Grimble, you were told by the takers that a number of people have gone missing, and people blamed the takers for them going away because it looked like kidnapping work, silencing work, but it was none of the people like these are people outside of the guild. There weren't any open contracts, and then one of the members of the acquisitionists, one of the other thieves' house parts, they went missing, and then someone went missing from the court of the Pigeon Queen, and so the thieves' house has put together this team, and they want you to keep your eye on everybody because these other ones are, they're kind of idiots, and a smart goblin like you needs to keep them in check when we send you down into the sewers after whatever it was that was taking these people. And Bella, you having failed, the Death Guild, as they all often do, meet in like the belfry of a tower. Like, you don't know any of the other people. They're all wearing masks. It's all creepy shit. Like, it's standard theatrics for, you can only meet on midnight or on nights of the new moon, and but your inability, your failure on your last mission is the reason that you were selected to do this, and we think that you'll do it anyway because your sister, who was originally slated, there was a very expensive hit that was on her. She was supposed to, now that you didn't kill her, we were forced to give the money back, and that contract was taken away. But then just this morning, a different person was supposed to go and have a conversation with her, not actually kill her, and she wasn't there, and all the same signs that were left in all of these places, which is these people all seem to just be plucked out of their homes in the middle of the night, with no traces.
Was there anything left behind?
No, but what there was in all of the situations is there was a piece that showed up at the church of the sleeping god. They got a piece that said that if the church of the sleeping god does not ring the bell of annihilation at midnight 2 weeks hence, all of these people that have been taken from their homes will be sacrificed to the spider god. So it seems like there's some rivalry going on, and amongst these cults.
So Dame Madness, my sister, and one other.
And a number of other people, but those are the only two that are actually
that are meaningful to us. Okay.
Yes.
Thank you.
There were members from the church and the other thing, and basically the church would normally not, but they basically called the Guild of Midnight and Silver, and were like, hey, we basically just been given this is like a blackmailing attempt. So the way that we see it, you're responsible to resolve it.
And we know what the Bell of Annihilation will do.
Oh no.
But it just doesn't sound good.
It doesn't sound good. I mean,
it's not like the Bell of Tickles.
The Death Guild says to you, we are unaware of what the Bell of Annihilation does, but anything that scares the cult of the sleeping god is absolutely
worthy of our attention. Yeah.
Yes, absolutely terrifying. The guilds have done some research, and it appears the only lead you have is that in the one house they found a grate in the basement leading directly into the sewers. And so that is where the three of you are, loaded for bear and ready to go down into the sewers.
Do we know whose house this was?
Yes, it was the house of a member of the Guild of Black and Gold, who are the Adventurers Guild. But this person wasn't an adventurer. They were just like a logistics person. Like this was
So one of the go bags.
It's tax season.
It's yes, correct. It's they were picked up for not reporting all of their wealth from adventuring, but this person should have everything. Everything matches. This person should have been here. It matches all of the other pieces, and there wasn't anything specifically special about this person compared to anybody else. There doesn't appear to be a whole lot of connection between them. But it was obvious that something came in and out of this sewer.
And they came across different from different guilds. There's no guild that was like left untouched.
Give me a books roll.
Ooh. First roll.
Right. We're gonna try to roll some dice. We're gonna see how this works.
I got a 6.
All right. So you are the vanguard.
Okay.
So a 6 is good right now because it is still bright. Yeah, the only guild that seems to not have been affected is the Guild of Rose and Iron.
Interesting.
But there's probably there's close to a dozen. There's 10 or 11 people that seem to have been abducted.
My trade is blood, so I can pick it up even within low light, and with my elvish eyes, and I am keen. I'm searching for any sign of or blood or any kind of viscera and or distress around this grate.
Give me a books roll at advantage. So you're going to roll 2 dice.
Okay. Oh wait, no, that's yours. Hang on. I will do these. Ta-da! So I got a 1. Wait, I don't understand. It did 2d8. Oh, it added them up. So it was a 4, and it was a books roll, did you say?
Books roll. Yeah, so what are your two numbers?
It was 1 or 4.
1 or 4. So 4
But
would
I am
be
keen.
Miss. 4 would be a miss, but the 1, this is something that you could do, so that's success.
Okay.
So you were looking for tales like signs of struggle.
Blood.
You're specifically looking for blood.
Well, blood. Yeah, like to see if somebody was being dragged into against their will, and it would leave any form of a fingernail, a blood streak.
Yeah, you don't find any signs of struggle. Like it really, when you trace this back up all the way to from this back to their bedroom, it looks like somebody slept in the bed, but then there's nothing knocked over. There's no.
So there's a version of this where they went willingly, or they were unconscious, or they were coerced to go willingly. So they could have been like shown something, told something, and said, "Get up and come with us." I share this with the group. I see no signs of struggle. If the grate was moved, or it's just a grate, like is there an indication that put us here that says, hey, we should probably check out the grate?
Yeah,
other than the guy's got a grate in the basement.
The grate was a surprising thing. It wouldn't normally be here. It looks like it was supposed to be. It was something that was hidden for a long time, and this was obviously done up. And it was wet and fresh, and no one saw anyone go in or out. This is the first time that there's been any indication, that there was any kind of egress from the building.
So as we cased the whole building, there was a reason that we were led to this opening.
Right.
Cool. Thank you.
Yeah,
I
definitely
have
seems
a
strange.
ability called lore wise. I was wondering if I could use it. Just kind of recall any like stories or something like similar has happened
Oh, I
within the
love it.
city before.
Give me a books roll with advantage.
Cool. Okay, let me see here. That's 2d4, right? Or just
2d4.
1d4? 2d4, yeah.
Oh, there we go.
Hey.
A 4 and a 3. The 4 is a success because it's currently bright, and the 3 is a success because that's a book. So yeah, you've absolutely heard. There is a story, an old story, about it's about the she who comes at midnight. And it's like a fairy story that they tell kids about a giant spider that crawls up under their bed and cocoons bad kids and takes them away. But you know that actually the story goes back to the fact that there have been giant spiders that literally could like slip into people's houses.
All right.
Wrap them up and web and she lob them away.
Yeah.
Grimble's kind of like puts their hands together, goes,
You know what? This reminds me of a story from long ago about the she who comes at midnight. Yes, the giant spider that took away the bad kids, the naughty boys and girls. Yes, naughty, not bad, naughty bad. But actually, there was actually big scary spiders that inhabits the city in the past.
Are they still active? Like, if I qualify?
Well, friend Lowness is
real quick, Mage Controller, do these giant spiders still exist?
Yeah, as far as you know. I mean, the thing is like the city has been pretty active, but there was a time, when people were first moving into the city, that the city was like overrun. As they found new areas, there was like they kept running into pockets of these giant spiders.
But now they're more rare, though, right?
Yeah, I mean, you've never encountered one, but you definitely.
Yes, friend Lowness. They scurry about in the past. Many spiders, but over time, the exterminators they spray the poison, and the adventures slay the spiders. So now, very rare. Not usually. In fact, Rimble never seen one before.
Okay, so I'm not going to get spirited away.
No. You won't. You will not be spirited away by big giant scary spiders, even if they are wearing strange masks and these giant cloaks.
Do they wear cloaks?
No, but it would be a nice fashion aesthetic.
Bella starts checking her knives, and she looks at Loudness, and she's like, "Nobody's going to take you on my watch. Let's go on a bug hunt." And I jump into the grate.
I'm scurrying down behind her, but like as I'm going, just like weirdly quick, I'm just like, okay, but because they're so rare, like they're not going to take me because they don't exist with their cloaks, right? Because like you have a cloak and I trust you, and they're not going to do that to me, right?
Like I said, if anything comes our way, and she just shows her several of her knives and sort of just is doing lovely, like fancy tricks with them, taking them out, put them up, checking their sharpness. She's like, again, Bella will take care of it. And so I have a question, MC. I'm Domain of the Night, right?
Yes, you are of the night elf lineage.
Night elf lineage, and this was an elven city.
This was an elven city.
Okay, so in terms of I hear when Gribble shares this story about she comes at midnight. This is the cloak to which I operate under. This is my this is a fish in water. Would I have an understanding about these spiders if they have been part of the city, if they've been associated with night?
Yeah,
Would I have
they
information?
the spiders, when the elves abandoned this city, the spiders are one of the many things that took over,
Flourished. Okay.
And then
filled the gap.
as humans and other the humans, the dire rats and the goblins moved into the city, it was something they had to deal with, because you would be building something and then you would open a cavern and spiders would just pour out, and it'd be like,
Sure.
and
they're giant, like horse-sized giant, rhino-sized giant.
Between large dog to horse-sized, like a small pony.
Shetland spider.
Something from Australia.
Yeah, so I mean, like a typical Australian house spider.
Yeah.
Fair enough. Typical.
So funny story. In Australia, they literally call root beer floats spiders.
Oh.
Because that's how many spiders they have in Australia. That children are like, hey, could I have a spider for a treat? Too many. They're too okay with spiders. But yes, in your understanding, these spiders are, roughly the size of a person.
And would I have any knowledge of where they nest, what they're attracted to in their nesting? Nothing? No, okay, thanks.
Actually, MC, can I ask, how big are goblins in your world?
You're definitely smaller than these spiders.
Pony size.
Oh, okay.
The size of a small pony.
You keep saying that.
Grimble, I know how big.
Grimble be like the size of a child, like
the nightstand.
You're probably 4 feet tall.
Okay.
But Grimble's standing at the top of this pit into the sewers that Bella and Loudness have descended into. What's Grimble doing?
Grimble looks around and goes,
"Well, looks like Grimble's on the case."
And
I like that Grimble has a catchphrase.
Also,
I like the fact that he says it to no one.
Exactly. Really quickly, I want to describe what Grimble looks like. Grimble is a goblin, and you said that they're kind of like froggish, so I'm gonna say big floppy feet. And Grimble actually wears what looks to be a shrub, an actual shrub with reddish leaves.
Okay.
And a little hood, and over their face it's a little clay mask with let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 eye holes, and where the mouth is, it's a little circular hole.
They are the moment. They're fashion. They're everything.
Hot fire.
It's like a Tarsem film.
Yeah, and they walk, and the way Grimble walks is kind of like how how you would go into the kitchen at 3 a.m. in the morning to get a snack, but you don't want to wake anybody, so you're kind of carefully walking and scurrying at the same time. That's how Grimble walks all the time.
Yeah, I love it. Loudness and Bella, you are at the base of a ladder down into the sewers. You can see that the sewer, this is a very old sewer, but it is still, working. The pumps and the water in the city is actually very good, but it's probably 1,000 years old.
Elven design.
Yeah, so ancient elven design. It's good stuff. But there's a landing that you can walk on the side, and then there's a river of septic water going down the center, but the water isn't very high.
Pulls a mask up over her nose.
The as you go into the darkness, As the GM, I will take and add a darkness. What kind of a light source are you all carrying?
Do elves have a good vision at night, and do the domain of the night elves?
You do, because you're a night elf. You
Okay,
actually
so then
don't
I
need.
am my
You don't
own
need
light
anything to
source.
see. You don't need anything to see down here.
What about
Thank you.
goblins?
No, the goblins don't, and the human definitely doesn't.
But I probably like just like come down here and just I'm completely surrounded in blackness. I'm just like, oh. And then I dig into my pocket and take out like a tiny book of matches and I light one match and hold it up and like walk and then go out and toss it into the water, light another one.
Oh.
I roll my eyes, and can I spend a wealth to or a treasure to hand her, or to hand just want to make sure
Actually,
to hand them a torch to
actually,
light.
before you do that, Todd, I was wondering if I could roll cunning and kind of scavenge, like maybe like because of the sewer, there's like trash probably down there, like debris and maybe some cloth, and kind of make a makeshift torch.
Give me a books
Cunning?
roll at disadvantage.
Okay.
I mean, I want to give you this opportunity. I think it's insane, but
As you're looking, I'm like looking at your shrubs, like, wow, that sure looks like some good kindling.
No, it is Grimble's. It is Grimble's shrubbery.
Yeah, so you rolled a 2. It's a disadvantage, so roll another one.
Oh, okay.
They both have to succeed. And a 1. There's only one darkness, so it's still good. As a cunning witch that, like, you know, you're using the environment around you. It is very strange, but the goblin like reaches into the debris and like finds a couple of things and then like turns around, and the next thing you know, has lit a torch like out of nowhere. It's like it's unsettling, like the A-team properties of just being like, you know, you're like, oh, it's like a half of a bottle that's like stuffed full of moss and you've lit it on fire.
On a leg bone.
Yeah.
People are so wasteful; they throw away such good treasures. You can thrift very well in the city if you are very smart.
Can you do magic?
Yes, Grimble can curse people. Do you want to be cursed?
Oh, because you made fire. I thought.
Yes, Grimble, curse the stick.
As you light up the torch, well, before you light up the torch, Bella, you can see pretty far down in both directions. In the one direction, the direction that the water is headed towards, you can see that the water goes until you can't see anymore. And the other way, it goes back just a little while, and then it falls down into like a pit. And there's like a crossroads of different branches of the sewer. When you light up, you can see that there's, you know, it's the light is like hard because it's like shining off the walls of this, and the walls are made of brick. But think like New York City sewers. Like the idea is like it's big, giant, round. You can literally walk without hunching over. There's like little ledges on the side and water running down the center. And if you look down river, it just keeps going. And if you look upriver, it near to where you are, the water is falling off into like a pit where there's like water coming from different. There's two different branches are coming into that same place.
I pull back my hood and I kind of move the hair over my ears. I'm not trying to conceal my elvish nature here, and I want to do the oral equivalent of licking your finger and putting it to the wind. I want to see if there's anything I can hear that would lead me towards going down one specific hallway.
You have keen senses, so
I do.
I will give you a books roll with advantage.
Okay. So first one is, there we go. Okay, it's a 1 or a 6. So that would be a 1 is a key. Yeah. Oh, no, it's 8 or 8. So neither.
I
Actually, crowned.
Twice. Yeah, it's actually really good.
I double crowned.
You just said 1 or 6, and I'm like,
I don't know why. You know what? I looked at the 16 and I'm looking at your little reader and I was like dividing it up. And I'm not math, I'm actor. So I'm gonna get a shirt that says that. I'm not math, I'm actor. Are you human or are you dancer? So 16. So I double crowned.
Yeah, and it's still only 1 darkness, so everything's great. You listen, and your finely honed elven assassin nature, you hear from down the passageway, you hear the sound that is unmistakably the sound of weapons being drawn.
Okay. Behind me?
Down the river, not towards.
So as you push in on my ear, you literally see the hairs in my ear sort of stand up and then kind of receive the vibration, and I'm drawing weapons. And I'm making a bit of a show of it for them.
For your companion.
For my companions. I'm not talking either. Right. And I start to, I'm going to walk a little quieter.
Are you walking?
Okay. I was going to say, I'm like walking, but I feel like, I don't know, because, would you say that because they have quiet, like, I don't know if they're like quieter while they're walking, but they would not quite notice just yet, like, why you're fully knives out. And so they'd be like, are we going into a dangerous thing? Like, is there people?
And so you're saying you said it's behind us, or I apologize.
So think about this, like you're in a long tube.
Yeah.
And if you go down river, down the way the water is going, that is where the noise is coming from.
So we're headed towards it.
Upriver will take you to where the water's falling into a pit.
My guess is that, so okay, so I look at my companions and I say, look, the reality is we are probably walking into trouble. And my guess is trouble is probably where what we're looking for is. So we are going to need to head in this direction.
Can I borrow a knife?
Of course. And so I step back, I size them up, I take out one knife, I look at it, I'm weighing it, put that one away, I take another one out, I check its sharpness, and then I take out a little baby knife, like a little gut hook, and I hand it over.
I hold it like if someone holds like a fork really badly. I'm just like,
and I stop. I hold your wrist, and I quickly, deftly show you how to hold it so that it would be the most deadly.
Sick. Nice.
I'm kind of ducking out of the way as you're doing that gesture, like the way someone would if you pulled a gun on them and they kind of push the muzzle away from them. I kind of do that with it, and then I go, and actually, I show them how to hold it so that it's at the ready and the strongest.
What is Grimble doing that while Obi-Wan and Luke Skywalker play with a remote?
Grimble smartly stays out of shank radius.
Yeah.
The radius of shank, and Grimble's like over here.
Oh, no.
Sorry, I was just writing down shank radius.
Yep. That's going to be in the next book.
Do you do this, Grimble? Wait, do you want to get in on this?
No, Grimble, okay. Grimble, Grimble will do the curses, the bad curses. They will have very, very bad day, very not good day.
Oh yeah, you got the fire stick.
Yes.
And Grimble's kind of waves.
We call it a torch, but
Grimble's like waving the torch a little bit and just making like sounds like whoosh,
No,
whoosh.
but it casts fire, right? Like that's
So-
spell. Like,
So
I mean,
you
it's
guys are all
burning.
having this
It's
moment,
burning.
and Bella, you like it snaps back to you that you heard the sound of
weapons being
of
sharpened.
weapons, and as that, you see that there is a group of creatures that are like now like very silently running up the up the tunnel at you.
Okay.
And so like literally there's no noise. Like it's not that they're going quietly, there's no noise.
And by say creatures, what sort of shapes am I grokking?
They are like small humanoid creatures. They are covered they're covered in a bristly fur, and they look like they have too many limbs.
So they might kind of be spider people, like a spider-ish.
Yeah, like if a kobold and a spider got together. That's like kind of like what.
Hey, what happens in Vegas?
What happens in Skull stays in Skull until it doesn't stay there, and it comes up the tube at you.
Can I quickly clock how many?
There's a horde of them. Like there's a lot of them. There's more than 10 of them, and they are. Some of them are running on the wall, and some of them are running on the ground, and one of them is like running upside down on the ceiling. Like it is unnerving to say.
Have I ever encountered anything like this before?
No. I am going to add a darkness as we are entering into an encounter.
So there's 2 darkness?
There's now 2 darkness.
And so for the folks at home that might be tuning in for the first time, what happens when you add a darkness?
So when we add a darkness, there's 2 things that are really going on. One is we are adding to a count. So right now you have 2 darkness. So you are in, it's what's called bright. And you succeed when you roll a crown, which is the top number on your die. You are still advantaged if you had to roll against death's door. And anytime you spend treasure, it would affect the entire party. So one thing that darkness can do is we can continue to add darkness, and things are going to continue to get worse for you. 7 or more darkness is what you would call bleak. That's bad. The other thing they can do is I can spend this darkness. Since I, as the MC, don't roll dice, I can spend darkness to do things that would be similar in other games to things that people would roll dice for. So to have a random encounter, to refresh one of my monsters.
So it would lose a level of darkness, but then you would get a boon. So it's like your currency.
Correct. It's my currency.
Thank you.
Your currency is treasure. My currency is darkness. But my darkness is generated by you having an encounter when you enter the darkness, which we've now had one of each of those. You haven't split the party. That's one of the things that can generate darkness. If you ignore an actual danger, if you let time pass. So like if you had just decided at the door to just be like, well, we're going to wait to see if anything comes through here. How we would mechanically do that is say, we're going to skip to that thing and I'm just going to add a darkness.
Perfect.
And the last thing you can do is you can have a flashback. And I can either spend one to have a flashback, or you can give me one to have a flashback where we create some new element that is,
like I had a conversation with the queen the day before, and she gave me the spider knife.
Correct.
Thank you.
Yes.
So I had a conversation with the queen.
Really quick before we jump into that encounter, I was wondering if I could roll my lore, use my lore wise, to identify these like mean, spirit away suit creatures.
Yes. Give me lore wise. Normally I would say with advantage, but this is rare, so no advantage.
Got it. Oh, roll a 4.
Forge a crown, so that would succeed because it is still only bright. You are not familiar per se, like you don't know if it has a name or something, but you've definitely seen that it does follow. They do seem very spider-like to you. You can't really, like, there's so many of them that like it's blurred. You can't tell if they're running on 2 legs or 4 legs, but they definitely look like they have 4 arms. But the thing that gives it really away is that like when you really look one in the face, you see that it has like multifaceted eyeballs and no like nose, but its mouth seems to be like a set of 4-piece mandibles in a extremely spider-ish.
Okay, I'm gonna relay this to the party, but this is something that Grimble's totally not familiar with, though, right?
No, you've never.
All right.
So
Bella says, "I trust that they bleed." So,
Hopefully, there are things out there that do not bleed, and those we curse.
So you lied because now I'm gonna get abducted because you said they weren't doing the abduction of bad kids anymore, and they're a lie.
not on my watch. I'm getting it's stabbing time.
All right, what does everybody want to do? We are in combat, which from Amaze's perspective means that you each get a chance to do a thing before I get to go. We call that a moment. So you each get a moment, and then I get to go, and then repeat ad infinitum.
I like keep practicing stabbing, even though there's one right there, and then I just suddenly take off running
Away from them.
away from them.
Okay.
I know what I'm good at.
Uh,
It's running.
give me a boots roll with advantage. Because you are fast.
I got a 5 and a 2.
Yeah, so that 5 is dead on. You tear ass down up the tunnel. Grimble, you're holding the light source, right?
Yeah.
Okay. What does Grimble do?
Grimble looks at this horde of spiders and then looks at Bella and goes,
There is a lot of them. Perhaps hasty retreat is in our best interest for now.
and scampers with loudness.
Give me a boots roll.
Bella just turns around like,
Boots roll.
Yeah, I did.
Oh. The dice have not changed for me. What was your roll?
I rolled 1.
Rolled a 1.
Wait, no, 3. Sorry, 3.
Oh, you rolled a 3.
Yeah.
3. That's good. You run after loudness, and the two of you are headed off. The light goes away, and Bella is sunk into darkness where they are very comfortable. You go from as you're standing there, the world goes completely quiet. Like you're standing there and there's all this noise and you don't even notice all the noise, but because there's water running and there's your companions running away, the sound of their feet hitting, and then all sound just like goes away completely, and like that, as these spider creatures are upon you.
Like, are they upon me?
Like they're coming at you at like a wave.
So they're not like literally touching me yet.
No, but there is like there's like a wrapper of silence around them and it is
Okay.
the rapper has hit you.
Got it.
The rapper with a W, not like
No, I feel you.
Biggie Smalls didn't just come up from the dead and hit
Right.
Party and bullshit.
you. Tupac falls from the sky.
So here's while my companions were running away and I was clocking the number of things running towards me, and as the light had been receding and my eyes actually adjusting better, I had sheathed my weapons and I pulled out a flask of oil and a striker, and I shatter the oil on the wall and the side of the things, and then I do the striker and then just create a bit of a wall of fire between me and the oncoming horde.
All right. So number one, you spend
the
a
treasure.
No,
Spend
that's
a heart.
fine. I think this is within your
Fair enough.
You're going to spend a heart because this is a
Okay.
violent action.
Yep.
And then the next thing you're going to do is you're going to roll you're going to roll a blades roll for me.
Yeah, I are. Blades. Okay. I got a 4, which
Perfect.
succeeds. Yeah.
So then roll effect for me. Roll for damage.
So explain that for the folks at home, and I mean me.
Hey, you always roll your die.
Just roll my own die. Okay. Thanks. 4.
4. So you do 4 hearts of fiery damage to the horde of the spider things. They
Do I roll for rolling my eyes at the hasty retreat of my companions?
no, you can do that for free. That's
a free action. Thank you.
Yeah.
You said
brother.
protect me.
All derision is a free action.
It's because I trust your skills.
A couple of the spider things they open their mouths, but there's no sound comes out. And the best part is like you like hit this piece, and you would expect there to be like this fiery
Crashing of the glass.
There's
Yeah.
no sound, right? But a couple of them catch on fire. The one that's on the ceiling like lights and like falls into the water, like freaking. A few of them turn and run, but all of them shield their eyes. But they are on top of you, so I'm gonna need Todd, I need you to make me 2 blade saves. But because they are shielding their eyes, you will have advantage on those rolls.
Great. So 6, that works.
Yep.
2 does not.
2 does not. So you're
So the advantage was 6. So 2. Wait.
So
no, I have advantage. So I'm going to roll it 4 times.
Correct. Yeah.
So the first one succeeded.
First one succeeds.
The second one succeeds.
All right, you're good. There's a couple of them that are right up on top of you. You notice they're all now that they're like right on top of you. You notice that they have like 4 legs on the ground that are like it's like 2 legs. Each of their legs looks like 2 legs, and so they have like, but they're almost together. They have like their feet look like they're back and forth. Like it's like does that make sense? Sure. Yeah, that's weird. I don't know. It's like they have 2 legs, and then their feet are going in either direction.
Yeah.
So like that. Yeah, there we go. That is the appropriate. But they have 4 arms, and in the one set of arms they're like holding spears, like in the holding the 2 arms are holding 1 spear. And on the other side they have what looks like a net or a cable. And as they are around you, they are throwing these cables at you. It's all your guys' turns. Loudness and Grimble, you are running down the hallway.
So if I turn around, because I hear me, I hear Gremble, but I don't hear Bella, I kind of like stop for a second, and I turn. I'm imagining.
What's really weird is you haven't heard any of this conflict.
Yeah.
Like, so you can hear 2 sets of feet running, and you hear the water running, and when you turn around, you see like you turn just in time to see this like wave of fire. And all these creatures are all around Bella.
Do you think she's like? Do you think she's fucking dead?
No, she
Michael
seems
is
mostly
hell-
alive still. We should probably go help her.
And then I like start running back the other way.
Towards them.
Yeah, actually, I think they wouldn't run, but they'd be kind of like shuffling, like a little morose. Like, here I go into battle, and
I run away really quickly, and then all right.
Because I'm looking at her like she probably has it, and I shouldn't get killed while she has it. But if there's a creature nearby, I'll kind of try to stab one.
Really quickly,
As you get close, there are some ones around. So give me a blades roll. So the first thing that happens is you lose a heart.
Oh no.
No, I mean you always just like making an attack. You spend a heart.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I could have won.
You got a 1. I think lacklusterly just trying to stab things seems 100% on board for a thing that you would do. So roll for damage.
Okay. Oh, it's taking its time. It's like dot. Oh wait, there we go. Oh, I got a 6.
Oh, well, when you're
Oof.
rolling for damage, if you roll the top of your die, you roll a crown, it explodes. So roll it again and add it up.
Oh, I got a 6.
You keep rolling.
Four.
So 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 16 damage. You just like put your hand out, and one of these creatures just like runs into it, and it just like goes into some piece. And when you do, the lead, its brain like explodes. Like it just like you this thing skewers itself on your hand. It's super gross, but it also all the sound comes back all at once, right? Like, and it's just like all of a sudden you just hear the skittering feet of these things and all that, and all of the spider creatures, now that they do that, they immediately just turn tail and just go running back up, away from you all, back up the way that they came.
So they're like, it's their turn to just like scream silently. They're just holding this knife going.
Oh, but this time they're now screaming. You can hear it, and it is.
Oh, loudness is screaming, but there's no sound coming out. It's like.
Oh, right, but yeah, it is loud. The reverse of loudness. All these
Right.
other things scream their way up in the loudest possible way, and it is an uncomfortable, like clicky clacky scream. That is it sounds too fast. If that even makes any sense. Like the pitch is too high. It's like if Alvin and the Chipmunks were screaming is like what it is. And they run down into the darkness.
Bella, I don't want this knife anymore.
You are the spider slayer. That knife is yours. It no longer belongs to me.
No.
The creature is like literally
it's just
you have to like get your hand like completely outside of it.
I'm like about to start crying because I'm just like, this is a really horrible death for this. Like looking at it, like
I put my hand on Loudon's shoulder and I said, "You saved me. You're the bravest of all of us."
That's not true even a little bit.
You ran towards this. First you ran away, and then you turned and you ran towards this.
It was kind of, I don't know, Grimble. It was kind of, I have to be honest, I wasn't putting my all into that run.
Regardless, it is not the fortitude to which we confront our fears, it's the fact that we do it.
I don't know what that word means.
Which one?
Whatever it was, a forwarded word.
That's fair. Keep the knife. It'll come in handy.
I don't want to keep this knife. Like wiping it off my pants.
Well, you add a new layer of filth.
While this interaction is going off, Grimble's just like kind of just like hopping back and forth on each foot and shouting,
You think, yes, you run. Fear Grimble and Grimble's friends. You run before Grimble curses you, your mother, and your cows.
Oh, I took the light.
From the camera's perspective, the camera's pulled back around and Grimble is yelling this stuff down the piece, and the audience can see the giant eyeball coming up out of the pit, and it's just like one giant eyeball that's like covered with like hairy weirdness, and it's just like growing up behind it. You're yelling, you're like, go away, and it's like dun, 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 dun. And we'll cut the commercial as we take a very quick break here.
Perfect. This is perfect. I love this. This is perfect. Yes.
Fantastic.
foreigner hits. It's all good.
Sail across the stormy sea.
That's what it takes me, baby. All right, so we are back deep in the sewers, and there's a heartfelt moment between Bella and Loudness, while Grimble is yelling strange obscenities down the hallway, and the camera is focused on Grimble's froggy little goblin face, as the entire screen behind is just filled with this giant eyeball, unblinking. And we'll pull back. There's this giant eye sticking out of, like on the end of a stalk, sticking out of the pit on the upstream, where two different tunnels are all coming in. All of the water is pouring into this. Bella and Loudness, you see it. Grimble's still yelling and screaming.
Is it foreign to me of something that might be in the sewer? I've never seen anything like this.
I mean, the eyeball is bigger than Grimble.
Right.
It's like a 5 or 6 foot wide.
But is it like an eyeball with a pupil and an iris, or is it like a black spider eye?
Oh no, it's like an eyeball with a pupil. It's got like a reddish iris, and it even like blinks, and it has like almost like human like skin. It's just that there's so much of it because of the size that it's grotesque and strange.
Yo.
And the whole thing is like you can see that it's like on a meaty stalk.
Is there, because the last ruler of us urchins was the rat man, king of rats, would we know anything kind of about things in the sewers like this?
Oh, I love it. Give me I'll give you 2 options.
Okay.
You can make a books roll, or you can do a flashback and we can discuss it.
Let's do a flashback.
Love it.
Yeah.
I'm gonna take a darkness. That'll take us to 3 darkness. So we're still in bright. 1 more darkness will push us into torchlight. But there was this time when Loudness was, in the previous regime, Loudness was much younger, new to the court. At that time, it was called the Court of the Rat King. Now it's the Court of the Pigeon Queen. And you had fallen into a sewer grate because you were like racing across racing into a things, and you swore that you saw a giant eyeball, and so you have gone to now, like you ran out of there as you do, and you have run to who was your trainer?
I feel like it was like some like cool Cockney kid named like Dwayne.
Wayne. Oh yeah, Chimney Wayne.
Yeah.
Phone line. As the king, as the Baron Burner the Thieves Highway. Run and jump on top of every roof there ever was. What was it you said? Squint.
There was a little there was like an eyeball. Like I fell and it ended up in the graves. It was like it like looked up at me. It was like
in the sewers.
Yeah.
Were you in the fish district?
I guess by the smell, yeah, sure.
Yeah. I've heard of something. There's a thing there where it's called the Well of the Ida.
What? Why do we have a well of Ida?
Yeah, I mean, I think I don't know if that's like it's like a place that like we're told to stay away from, but the king sometimes he sends boys down with fish and refuse, and they drop it in this pit, and this giant eyeball answers their questions.
What kinds of questions?
Like all kinds of things. It sees things because it's a giant eye, I assume. I personally have never seen it, but I hear tell that if you're ever walking down the street late at night and you feel that someone's looking at you and you turn around and you look down, sometimes the eyes in the sewer grate staring you, watching you. And the king sometimes gets information from it. Seems worth it for a rotten fish every now and once and again. What's that?
I don't have anything else to say.
Yeah, so the dream lines, the flashback lines go away, and you remember this whole story, this exchange. You haven't really heard about it since then.
So I'm just like, I definitely had nightmares about that eyeball for like a while, much to Jimmy Dwayne's delight, I'm sure. But
there's this you just as you're saying that, you see this tentacle reaching out of the hole, and it's reaching towards the back of Grimble.
Grimble?
Can I say that Grimble at this point, since he has a torch and the creatures behind him, which would be casting a shadow over Grimble at this point?
Yeah, you start to see this like you start to see the shadow on the wall, and it looks huge, right? So like you do see this tentacle. Give me a boots roll.
All right. Before I do that, Grimble's gonna just slowly turn around. His head just goes up, and the camera also pans up with his gaze. He just goes, "Oh, poop." See here. Let's do that.
Oh.
Got a 4 on my 1d4, which is crown, I think, right?
Yeah, it's great. It's also a boots roll, so 3, 4, 5. So that's a real good hit right here. You managed to stumble your way out of the tentacle, and as you do it, the eye drops back into the hole.
Grimble's gonna be like, as they dodge, like,
How dare you? You are cursed! Cursed!
No.
Are you dropping a curse?
no, he's just pointing and yelling, cursed.
I mean, you might actually be throwing a curse. I mean, I want to make sure you're not just throwing some Chinese grandmom at it.
He's being a little tiger momish.
Do we have fish?
Grimble could actually. You said, isn't there like body parts or burning corpses of those spires things around us?
Yeah, there's some torched spider corpses. You also have,
and there's one just, is it still on your arm?
Oh, yeah.
I think he's been trying to get off this whole time, and like stopped when he saw the eyeball, but it's still there.
Grimble's gonna look around and goes,
No fish, but lots of spiders apparently from Bella and Loudness.
Okay.
So I'm gonna pick up a little cooked spider.
If we
Chuck
want
it.
You chuck some cooked spider above the pit, and as you do, a tentacle reaches out and plucks it from the sky and pulls it in, and you hear like a slurpy noise, and then like bones shoot back out.
Oh,
Grimble's gonna yell out, manners! That is terrible manners!
spiders have
Uh,
bones. Ugh.
Yeah, the bones are like falling into the water, and they just kind of like roll down the.
If we feed it probably all of this, it'll tell us stuff. I don't know how it works. I think the last Rat King was like besties with it. Them. Is it rude to call it it? If it just I'm gonna say them. Was rude to them. Was best friends to them, and like it would go give it fish, and then it would tell secrets, and it knows everything that happens outside the sewers.
Well, and then immediately just start chucking more body parts into
Grimble's gonna
the
help.
pit. Yeah,
Barbecued spider parts.
yeah. It's like throwing marshmallows to the polar bears, but
Like
barbecue
Yeah.
spider
petting-
parts.
Gently pet the top of the spider. I'm so sorry. And I start trying to push it towards the pit.
Honestly, Grimble's kind of surprised that these spider things have bones. Spiders usually don't have bones.
Yeah,
They're usually
but
boneless.
you notice they're not bones. They're like it's like shell, like husk.
The chitin. Oh,
Chitinous body form.
like we're like dodging bits of chitin.
Yeah, it's gross. The whole thing's gross, but eventually you hear a remarkably calm voice in your mind, and it says, this is an acceptable offering. Ask your question. I am the oracle. I am the Eider Oracle of the lower city.
You don't seem confident with your own name.
Um,
You sort of stumble through your own name. Is it because
am-
you're full? Is it
I am Eider,
because like
the
lunch, like
Oracle.
all your blood goes from your brain to your belly?
Maybe they have the itis.
The
Or you're
Oracle,
drunk.
the
You
Oracle
kind
of the lower city.
So okay, you just don't seem confident.
Are you sure that's your name?
Yeah, exactly. This is what I'm trying. You kind of sounded like you were making it up as you went. I'll be honest.
No one's ever asked before.
No one's ever asked.
and it's Wallace Shawn. I love it.
Inconceivable.
So it's in my brain, yes?
Yes, you're all hearing.
So
this,
it's
like-
somewhat telepathic, yeah? So I'm gonna hold an image of my sister in my brain and then say, have you seen, it's like a poster. Have you seen this girl?
Have you seen this girl? You think of your sister on the back of a milk carton.
Yes.
Um,
She's etched into a milk pail.
etched into a bucket, right? Etched into a bucket of milk.
It's like burned into the side of a bucket. Milk pail. Have you seen this girl?
You have to speak.
It's a cottage industry.
To the demon in a pit. The Eider says in your minds, that elf and others are and you get this image in your head, and it's like, it looks like a couple of points, and it takes a while to realize that it's junctures in the sewer. And it says that they're in a cage. They're in a cage near another intersection that the Eider knows of, and
North,
like it says
south,
to you,
east,
like
west?
like the directions,
Irrelevant. I'm gonna assume it's the direction that
it's the direction that you would get.
soundless
Like, I mean,
spider
it's like-
things came from.
there's some turns that you would have to take, but since we're not attempting to hex map our way through this, you have a clear direction on how to get there. He shows you a picture in your minds of the room, and it's weird because it's coming from the floor, the way that you would expect the eye looks at this room. But it's like it's an area where there's another one of these like cistern pits where water's like flowing into it, and from that you can see there's a landing, and there is a large cage, and there's a bunch of people in it. And
In our heads.
in your head, you see this is like a picture. It's just like a shot.
It's kind of
and
like
you see
a central
someone
hub.
wearing a tall form wearing a dark red and green robe with a pointy hood.
So it's Santa.
This is kind of like, it's like a central hub in the sewer system, right? Where all the pipes and everything kind of meets up.
It's one of these like juncture points where like
Okay.
different tunnels come together. Yeah.
Also, fantasy GPS, the same thing.
Oh, it's Pennywise.
No.
Anyways.
Loudness would just immediately disappear. Go home. Like, no. Not mine.
No.
And I grab Loudness by the scruff of the neck, and I remind Loudness that there's something at stake if we don't complete this mission. That I think if you head out of here, your fate might be worse than what we may meet down here, and you would be up there without the protection of me and Grimble.
Yeah, I know someone's supposed to like keep an eye on you too.
Thank you, and I need that because
Yeah.
you are the Spider Slayer.
No. Oh, no one's even
You
gonna believe
literally
that
just slayed one.
story. No one's even gonna believe me when I
I
try to
will sing
follow.
your tale.
Grimble's gonna
Oh.
whisper to the two.
Do you know if we get only one question, or do we get multiples, like like genies and or like monkey paws?
I look around for more body parts. I said it might be like Zoltar. If we just keep throwing body parts in, we get another question.
Tokens.
Yeah.
They're looking for
I
tokens.
put them on the top of the machine because I'm next.
Questions next. I'm next.
Let me see if I have like rotten food scraps in my pockets. I'm supposed to take off my whole jacket.
The eider seems to slip deeper into the water, and you can hear it moving away.
I think we got.
I tried
We have a
tossing
clear
my rotten
sense.
jacket.
And if what we saw is the water flowing in a certain direction, and it was flowing into the central pit, then it would stand to reason that we follow the direction of the water because it feels like it's leading to that hub.
Yeah, I mean, based on the image in your mind, it's not far from where you're at. It's just that you have to like,
we gotta go around the bend.
Mm-hmm.
I kind of am like standing a little bit awkward for a second, and I lean out when I go, thanks.
Burp.
You don't get any response.
Okay.
Like dig my pocket and I toss it like some rotten potatoes, like fries. And then I go.
All right, what are you guys doing?
I'm gonna head in the direction that we were attacked from, and in the direction that the water's flowing.
Grimble's gonna waddle.
You come to the point where, did you just say waddle follow?
Yeah, waddle foddle. That's how Grimble moves. Waddle foddle.
Waddle follow.
Waddle foddle.
I just want to make sure it is a very good term. I'm going to waddle foddle that direction. I can see it. I can see it mentally in my head.
I can hear it.
Mm-hmm.
The beats are like
Like a back and forth waddle, like a front to back type waddle.
It's that one's a waddle and one's a foddle, right? Like
yeah. More of a back.
It reminds me of somebody trying to sneak a snack at 3:00 in the morning.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. In your underwear. That's usually how I do it.
Someone's.
You pass the scorch marks where you burned the piece, and you come to a bend, and then you come to another bend, and as you are approaching, you hear chanting in an unfamiliar language coming from down the hall, but it does look like similar to where you encountered the Oracle. There is another. This is like going into another one of these larger rooms, so you feel pretty confident that this is the space.
But so this is how much time has passed since we barbecued the spider people and talked to the eyeball stalk?
I mean, half hour.
Half hour. So whatever ran into this room ran back from us, alerted whatever's in there to our presence. So I'm imagining some form of stealth upon approach might be prudent.
I know
Like,
that's the part where
yeah,
like
go
I
ahead.
run in and I do a distraction, or like I like stick to the walls and people's feet, and then like I take a diamond or something, and then I do the thing, right?
You just said 5 things that you could do. Which
you know,
one do you
normally,
want to do?
I don't know. Do they have a diamond?
Like I almost want to like have like thought about the what are the guards from Wizard of Oz, where we could put on the parts of the spiders that we killed and kind of use that as our disguise.
All the spiders. You fed all the spiders to the
We
the
fed
aura.
all of them. I mean, because there were lots that attacked us, and I burned quite a few.
I mean, a lot of
Very
them ran
much
away.
away.
If you remember, a lot of them
I
ran away
know.
because loudness exploded one of their heads.
There's that. The Spider Slayer.
Grimble has idea. Grimble could maybe enchant us to make us more sneaky.
You totally could do that.
So
Sure.
I'm in.
would it be
Grimble
possible?
wants to spend a star to enchant everyone.
Yes.
So that you would be advantaged on your boots rolls.
Yes.
Love it.
Make everybody quiet.
Mhm.
The opposite of hexing is enchanting. The opposite of enchanting is hexing. There,
Love
two
it.
sides of the same coin.
It's cool.
You are uncursing someone.
So should we roll?
If you're
Or
just
when we choose to roll, we have advantage.
correct.
Thank you.
Can we like kind of peek around any like corners or get any like vantage to see kind of what's going on?
You're gonna sneak up and try to look.
Loudness would do that.
All right. Give me a boots roll with advantage. I'm not gonna make you roll because you have been on sneaking up, because you find it you feel very light on your feet after Grimble's enchantment. But now that you're like, trying to actively avoid.
I got a 1 and a 3.
A 1 and a 3. Well, it is still. Oh, it doesn't matter actually, because 1 is what you do. A 3 is boots, and a 1 is your key. And what you do is be quiet and sneaky. So what you have is a critical success. You succeeded on both of them. So you have basically come to the edge, and you are effectively invisible. So you can look around. You get a good look at the room. You see that there are a bunch of people. And they are wrapped up in. They don't look like they're wrapped up in spider webs. They look like they're wrapped up in like nets. Like it doesn't look like they don't look like cocooned like you would expect in your giant spider your piece. It looks like they're like wrapped up in like weird Afghans, like weird white Afghan rugs.
And are these the ones chanting, or do they look like they're the prisoners?
No, they look like the prisoners because they're like inside of it like a giant cage. And then on the far side of the room, you see that there is a tall human figure or humanoid figure. You can't tell because they have like a hood on in this red and green robe. And there's a bunch of the weird, small arachnid creatures that are all chanting. And they're all holding a long rope, and the rope is faintly glowing. So the only light that's in this room is coming from that faintly glowing rope.
Okay. I come back to the others and I kind of tell them about the people in the cages with the sort of almost like captains wrapped around them, the spiders chanting, the glowing rope.
How big is the room?
20 by 20, 20 by
20.
30. So like all the people are in the one corner. So like if you think you're coming into this room, it's coming in on the one corner. And so on the corner opposite you is where all the people are.
Okay.
On the corner to your right, because everything is the other corner, the opposite you to the right is where the chanting is, and the corner to the near side of you, there doesn't appear to be anything.
So the cage, is it suspended? Is it
It's on the ground.
Okay.
And it looks pretty old, but all the people inside of it are like wrapped in these like rug nets.
Were the people conscious?
You think some of them were. It was kind of hard to tell. There wasn't any like active anything going on, but
So I'm deducing that these things actually, although having spider qualities, they're not web spinning. Like we're not seeing any actual sign of webs. That all of their nets are crafted and made, and their binding cocoons are crafted and made, as opposed to spinning. And you said this humanoid figure, standing tall figure in robes.
yes.
Would that color combination have any significance to me?
It doesn't nothing you're familiar with.
And is there
It's
any
ugly.
significance to the? It's ugly. poor fashion choices. And
It's like a russet. It's like a reddish brown with like kind of like green tracery on it. Like it,
They're not as fashionable as Grimble.
No,
No.
not many are. Not many are. Yeah.
Actually,
And how many? How outnumbered are we?
There's probably 10 of the little creatures, and then whatever that thing is.
the little creatures were like the spiders that we fought earlier, right?
Yes.
Okay. Actually, I was wondering, can I roll my lore wise to see if Grimble recognizes maybe anything like symbols, or if that outfit has any meaning?
You would have to get a better look.
Okay.
Like right now, you're just basing it on what
Okay.
Loudness has said to you.
Okay.
Probably said like it's a really ugly.
Dude's wearing some ugly stuff.
Yeah, it's not really that cool. Like I thought he was one of us for a second, and I'm like, I'm bigger. I mean, so I don't know, normally this is the part where like my friends will be like, you gotta go in there and like do the distraction and like don't get hit because we can't take you to the hospital, we don't have insurance. Or like they'll be like, go sneak and steal that person's pearls or something. Like I can do one of those.
How are you on lock picking?
How am I at lock picking? I think I'm neutral.
You chose you chose to be dexterous over being streetwise. So
Yeah,
like you're like crime skills are your sleight of hand, your hands are good. But like you don't have like the you could try it, you're not good at it. You could spend a star to do that, because it's definitely something that
been around
being done.
Yeah.
What sort of?
I look at Bella and I slowly go. Oh.
What sort of hexes do you have on you?
Well, Grimble can curse people. Yes, make them have very, very bad days. Make things
Like what? Like stubbing their toe, like They're Uber canceled. Like, what sort of bad day? Like, can you immobilize? Can you
like if they walk under a piano, there is a more of a chance for the piano to break and fall on top of them, smushing them.
first get a piano, then we'll wire it up, then we'll lure them into the center of the room. This is a foolproof plan.
Foolproof plan.
Foolproof plan.
Grimble can also make things weaker and stronger.
Make weaker and stronger.
I'm gonna can enchantment do that? Actually, I was saying enchantment do that, right?
Yeah, so I mean, if you think about it, you could make things anything that you would think about rolling, right? You can do it one way or the other. So you can either make it better, or you can make it because you're an enchanter, right?
Yeah.
You can also enchant a thing. But
Grimble could Grimble actually make a light source for a second, kind of just go super duper bright, and for those unprepared, blind them, since that's just making a light source stronger.
I mean, I don't see any reason why if you spend a star that wouldn't work.
Could you make, if you're saying you can enchant a thing, could you make the bindings on the people in the cages weaker?
Yes.
Yes, Grimble can do that.
Have at.
Grimble can maybe make the whole thing, the cage, everything, the Afghans, all weaker, perhaps.
And then you're gonna make the piano, right?
We will first need to get the piano, and then Grimble could make the piano fall on people.
But you can't.
So in the third corner, there's a piano that's just suspended. I forgot to mention that.
And a pulley system.
On a pulley system. And then there's two guys that are just standing there holding a large plate of glass.
They're just going back and forth repeatedly.
And a guy with a basket full of cabbages.
Yeah. I have my marble shipment.
Should I?
So I like the idea of you weakening all of the structure that's holding our quarry, and then I will do my best to keep the villains at bay.
Which thing am I doing? Am I cutting? I don't have scissors, but I got this. And like pick up the knife again. I don't know. I could probably,
And you do have 3 treasure.
If Grimble makes the cage and the Afghans weak, you could probably just just tear into it like child in cake factory.
Christmas morning.
like a really hungry kid.
Yes.
Yeah, I've been there.
All right. So do you think that you have a plan?
Think so.
How much light is in that room?
It's definitely the only light's coming from the glowing rope.
From the
it's
glowing
enough
rope.
to see by.
Hey, Grimble, you're a man of magic. What do you glean from the rope?
Grimble looks at a rope.
It's a glowing rope, so it seems extraordinary.
Again, without actually going into the room to see
Okay.
it, just based on Loudness's description that
It was
they're
bright.
holding a glowing rope, right?
It was shining.
Grimble needs to be closer to said rope and look at rope and study rope. Ropeology. Grimble took that in school.
Oh, so I'm coming to the right person
Yes, but
When we
Grimble
get
needs to
there.
get a closer look.
when we get there. All right. So I ready another flask of fire, and I also tell them because I was in the thick of it, prepare for there to be possibly no sound. So whatever we need to say to each other, let's say it to each other now. And then I actually give a few hand signals to say, here's things we could communicate to each other if we need to when things go foobar. If suddenly we are deafened by whatever magics they use to drop the sound out.
If you are willing to spend a star,
Mm-hmm.
to say that I will allow you to have pre-given a whole bunch of, like, you're just saying like,
Yeah, I'll spend that star.
Sounds great.
Leave it on the dance floor. Bump, 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 bump.
All right, so you come. Are you charging into the room or are you stealthing into the room?
We have the enchantment spell on us, right? So we're
Oh,
gonna be super sneaky.
All right, everybody, give me a boots roll with advantage.
Like, hey,
We have to do it one at a time, right?
Yeah.
Because of the little roller. Go forth. Who's up there first? Those look like D6s.
Okay, I got 2 4s.
Loudness slides in completely soundlessly.
Nice.
That's a perfect roll.
I will go again. Okay,
Followed by
5
Bella.
and a 4.
Also perfectly soundless.
Boom.
All right, I am gonna roll 2d4, right?
Yep.
4. 2 4s.
Nice.
Also perfectly soundless. All of you. You slide in. You have all been super stealth up with Grimble's magic. You slide into the room. You are like standing in natural shadows cast by the tall enrobed figure because the light is coming from the rope behind. You can be anywhere you would like in that room.
I probably like go towards the cages.
Okay.
Kind of see if there's anyone who's like who I kind of recognize.
Yeah.
I'm gonna position myself in between Loudness and the cages in case I have to create a barrier of fire and then fight from that point, so that Loudness can do their business, and I can provide cover if needed.
Grimble is going to position themselves between Loudness and Bella, actually, so they're still within range of weakening the cage and the Afghans.
Okay.
And also, in case Bella needs any help, they could help her.
All right. Loudness. You do recognize the person from the guild. They're like completely like wrapped up. They look like they're asleep. But some of these people are in different states. They all kind of look drunk or drugged. Like none of them are really with it. Gribble, if you want to spend a star to weaken all the bonds.
Yes, indeedy.
And Bella, you take that position. As you
And
take,
I'm also watching to see if I can see my sister among them.
You do. Like they're not like stacked like cordwood. Like you recognize their face. Their faces are all they're like in like
sleeping bags.
Yeah, right. Like they're like burritos, right? Like they're wrapped in like a weird white cloth, Afghan, like knitted cloth. But they all, like I said, they all look out of it. And Bella, you're standing there in the shadow, and as you are, you hear some clicky, hissy sounds coming from the chanting, and then they raise up the white glowy white rope, and as they do that, the creature standing there turns towards you, and it's creepy how they turn. Like they don't turn like a person like turn around. They like slowly like hover, spin, and you see that rope that they're all holding is like coming out of this thing's mouth. It's like spitting it out, and it's like this weird glowing rope, and it has a head, but its head actually looks like a spider. Like it looks like a spider's just sitting on top of where this person's head should be.
Not a spider's head, but a whole spider.
Like a whole spider. In fact, like it actually looks like it's a person's skull that's been like made into a chair for a spider.
Well, that's awful.
It's always spiders. All right, what would you guys like to do?
I have a sharp intake of breath.
Oh, I get a darkness because this is an encounter. And this is actually called a named encounter, so I actually get 2 darkness. They are a marquee monster. So we are in Torchlit, which means you don't necessarily succeed on Crown. And that's really all it means.
Which is a lot.
If the spell's cast, I take off my jacket and wrap it around my foot and try to kick at one of the bars.
After Grimble casts the spell, you wrap your foot and you kick one of the bars, and the bar, it seems like it's like it was already kind of rusty, but now it just looks like it's falling apart. And as you kick it, like the pieces of it, it like disintegrates almost at all the connection points. So you've kicked a way into this cell.
I'm gonna go on inside. I'm just like, I didn't think it would go that well. And I start kind of crawling inside, my little knife ready.
All right. Grimble, what are you doing?
Grimble's kind of just in a holding position, just is basically waiting for the shit to go down.
All right, Bella.
Like I said, I have the flask and fire ready to cause chaos. I'm waiting for the moment where we're going to be ushering these people out. Ideally, if we can revive them, if you have a hex or a curse or an enchantment that could, give them a little Mountain Dew, and wake them up a little bit. So that we can get them out.
The curse of Mountain Dew.
And it is that.
Bring forth the jitters, yes. So as you're putting yourself in your position, you're like kind of watching back and forth, and as you do that, the spider in the chair, the body, you notice that the body appears to be like a couple of those spider creatures that you fought earlier. It kind of looks like they're like fused together, and then like there's like this tattered robe over it. Grimble, give me a books roll at disadvantage.
Okay.
I'm only giving you the roll because you're lore wise.
Got a 4 and a 2.
The 2's actually a success. The 4 we could negotiate, but you don't have to. Or no, you would.
He's at disadvantage, right?
Yeah, because it's a disadvantage. But the 4 could. We just need to negotiate. You have to give me something. How would you like to negotiate for the success on this?
All right. How about whatever they're doing? For some reason, like Grimble makes kind of a sound.
Okay, yeah. You like step forward, and they notice you, because like as you get closer, you're now looking at this robe, and you actually do recognize the weird runes that are on it. You realize this is like a really old, like this robe is some kind of antique, like only like you wouldn't have normally guessed it because it's like going back like before the elves. Like this is like primordial, like before the sleeping god was in the city of Skull kind of thing. You don't remember its name, but there's some like ancient force. And
so this real quick, so this Cronenberg of creatures decided to put on a robe and put a spider head on.
Yeah, it looks like, I mean, it looks like if you think about it like a doll act, right? Like it's like this little creature sitting in a chair that is the body of it is this Cronenberg, which is a great verb for this, right? It's like Cronenberg together a couple of these weird arachnoid things.
Yeah.
And then it's wearing a robe that was like for like an elf or something a long time ago, but it's so old that it's just like tattered, and it's just
I'm a fancy thing. I'm a
Right.
fancy thing.
And then it like raises its arms, but like coming out of where the mouth would be is just this like glowing tentacle
Deeply
rope.
upsetting.
MC, can you give me a name in your world where they like a location where they make really nice fabric?
Sure. Well, Strawberry Mansion.
Grimble's gonna be like,
This is very nice. What is this? Strawberry Mansion Velvet?
it's looking at the inscriptions on it actually makes you like uncomfortable. Because it's like that kind of like old magic. And as you are doing that, the white ropey tentacle thing spins around, and the creatures are like that are holding onto it, you like realize are like growing off of it, and it just like spins around and it just slaps at Bella. Bella, give me a blades roll. Blades save.
Oh, hang on.
yeah, honestly, anytime we see anything like a robe or a clothing that's magical, like in
I
my
did
head, I
not
just go,
save.
You're like, I want it.
no, I go to Coming to America. What is this? Velvet?
A blade save I did not succeed on. I got a 2.
Take 3 hearts of damage.
Ooh.
You get crushed by this thing, and the touch of it is caustic but cold, like not an acid burn but a base burn. You know, it's
not a cringe burn but a base burn.
the what is Loudness doing? They've ripped into the people.
He like looks up, I think, over some of the people and sees like shit's happening. He pans, looks at his knife, and it's like, no, but I don't want to kill again, and starts like trying to like saw through the caftan as quickly as he can.
As you're cutting through them, they cut like butter. They're like literally like falling apart. They feel like they've aged. The people inside though are like all of them are waking up with a hangover.
I'm like smacking one of them. I think it's like the Madam of Madness was the one that I knew.
Oh, yes.
I think Norma, I'm a little freaked out by her because she's so loud, and I'm just like hesitating, and I just smack her face. I'm like, hey.
Are you smacking her like get up?
Yeah, I'm like, get up.
You're like, get up.
Snap out of it. No, I'm just like tapping her face basically. Like,
right.
Please.
What is Grimble doing?
Really quick, where is the spider creatures and the main spider thing? Like, look, are they like near the edge of the platform that we're on or something?
You're like in a room, like all the water was coming into like a cistern, and then there's like a room behind it. So like effectively it's, you know, if you want to call it a platform, it's a flat floor.
Oh, it's a flat. We're on total ground level.
Right, yeah, you're on ground.
Oh, okay.
You're underground, but you're in ground. You're not in a tunnel. You're in a room.
Okay.
That's about 20 by 30 feet.
You know what? I'm gonna still have Grimble kind of hold right now. Like I think Grimble's gonna react to whatever, if something happens to Bella or something happens to.
Well, Bella just got hit by a giant appendage, a glowing appendage that's got little creatures growing on.
Oh, okay. Then Grimble's kind of look at whatever hit Bella and kind of give it like a nasty lurk and just and shouts out,
And you are cursed.
And curses the creature.
Are you actually cursing it?
This
Are
one,
you
yes.
just
This
trying?
time, yes. This time.
Are you just trying to do damage, or are you trying to
Let's do
curse one of its activities?
Let's do like kind of a curse of frailty, if that's possible.
You want to make it so that more damage would be caused to it.
Yes.
Okay. Give me a give me a books roll.
Okay.
Or spend it or spend a star.
Okay. You know what? I'm gonna roll a books roll.
Yeah. Like what you're doing isn't directly causing any damage, so I'm okay with it just being a roll.
3.
The curse of frailty. You are you feel that it has definitely found a target. Bell?
Yes. So I just got biffed with this thing.
Yeah, it was gross.
Super gross. So first of all, I'm gonna yell out my sister's name, Corinne, and I'm gonna yell out something from our childhood that when we used to sort of play war, like to say that it's time to fight, just to get her up and on our team, because I know she's a badass as well. Hence, there was a bounty on her that I was asked to fulfill. I yell out Corinne, and I yell out like rabbit, rabbit, and I take the flask that I have, and instead of spraying it, I'm turning it into a Molotov cocktail, and I'm whipping it at at Davros's face as he sits upon his spidery throne.
Give me a blades roll.
Okay. Just a second.
Oh,
that is a 4, so that succeeds.
You are deadly, so give me a damage roll with advantage.
Okay. 4 or 3, so 4.
But there's also a curse, so give me another.
yeah.
Boom, and an additional 4, so 8 all day.
It lights on fire, and you hear screaming as flame goes down the appendage, and it's bright like phosphorus fire, right? Like the flame catches, and it's like a white fire, and it goes down, and there's popping exoskeletons, and the creature sitting in the little skull throne rise and does the
ropey mouth is coming out of it.
Yes, the spider creature sitting in it does that, the universal like, oh, I'm being fried from inside. And then it all falls, and then when it falls to the ground, all of the other little creatures, the arachnoid things, they all also like scream and fall. Eventually, when the dust settles and you realize that this thing is actually dead, you gain a treasure because this robe that it was wearing is obviously highly magical. And you also find a second treasure, so 5 treasures total. That you're currently at 5 treasure, because there is there's a chest of coins that have been just there, and you're able to get everyone out of the sewers eventually. But strange things are afoot in the city of Skull. An ancient forest, and this, when you bring that robe out, there's definitely some talk about how strange this is. So it is time for us to do some wrap up. What I'd really like to do is do the actual like kind of standard checkout that's shown in mazes, and we'll use that as step up for our next game. And we'll determine what that's going to be, and we're going to do some cool stuff. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to figure out treasure. And so we have 5 treasure. So I need everyone to roll their die 5 times.
Oh.
You have 5 treasure. And give me the numbers.
Who's going first?
Yeah, go ahead. Go ahead.
Okay. 3, 5, 4, 3, 3.
3, 5, 4, 3, 3. 3 is electrum coins, which is 1 wealth. 5 is ancient coins, so it's a +2 wealth. 4 is gemstones, that is also 2 wealth. And then 3 and 3 is electrum coins. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 7 wealth. All right. Next.
Grimble.
Okay. I got a 2, a 4, a 3, a 1, and a 4.
So 4, 3, and 1 is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So that's 5 wealth. Then you have a strange loot, which is this robe, and 1 magic item, which we will do in a second. And last but not least.
Yep. 47117.
47117. Great. 4 is gemstones. So that's 2. 7 is worthless junk. Got 2 of them, so that's worth 0. 2 1s is 2 magic items. So we're gonna have 3 magic item rolls and 2 more. So 7, 12, 14 wealth. So that's each of you gains 4 wealth and 2 of you get 5 wealth. You can determine that amongst yourselves. And then we're going to do 3 magic items. So everyone gets to roll for a magic item. In order to roll for a magic item, you need to roll D100 for me.
I'll just take 4 wealth.
I'll take. Okay.
And let's let the filthy urchin
Yeah.
have the 5th wealth.
Yeah.
Oh, thank you.
I was gonna say I want to take 4.
Starting 2 wealth.
You start. We
No,
had 5, so you're adding an additional. We're adding an additional.
That you started with. You used to actually like buy the treasure for this game.
Yeah. Oh, okay. Got you.
So what do we have for all day?
So
Well, we got just now, right?
Right. You have 4, 4, and 5. Right. That's.
Yeah.
Oh, got it.
I'm down to take 4 because Grimble has no sense of what money is really.
And I have 4. You have 5. Okay, got it.
This commerce that you speak of.
It's beneath me.
And a D100, you said?
I need D100.
I'm excited to see what y'all get.
Yeah, I mean, you're each gonna get 1. It's 3 rolls.
Wait.
Oh.
Oh wait. That's not a D100. I actually have a manual D100 I could roll.
You could also just type in D100.
I thought I did, but it only. I guess it just. Is that a D100 or is that a D10?
Percentage, right?
Yeah, it's percentage. So that's
Yeah.
it's gonna be a team.
I would have
and
to
then
roll
it's
2.
gonna be
I would have to roll 2 of them, right? Yeah.
Yeah, then do like a D10.
Or roll 2.
So do it. Okay, 2 D10. I'll do that. Five.
5 and what?
It just says 5, so it's 3 and a 2.
I
So
believe
we'll
that's
say one's a
32.
percentile.
Oh, so 32 or 23. Pick one.
So 32. The 3 came first in their order. So I'll say that's 32.
32 is a scroll. Give me another D100.
Oh, next. Damn. And then the. Oops.
Looks like you got 100. It looked like.
So when I rolled the percentile, it was 100 or it's 0, 7. I think it's probably 7.
7 is a potion.
Okay, a potion.
You got a scroll, a potion, and there'll be another roll.
Okay.
Michael, give me a roll.
All right. I got a 70 and a 70.
So 77.
Yeah, I think so.
77 is a missile weapon. Or
Oh.
all right, give me another roll there, Grimble. Give me another D100 roll.
Oh, okay. 1D100. That is a 60.
So 60.
Oh, one more. I did one more then, actually. 60.
Doesn't matter. You have a bag of magical sling stones.
Sling stones. That works.
Violent.
Bella, give us another roll. You have you found a magic scroll.
Yeah, right. Second, 2D10. We'll call that 14.
14. It is a scroll of delay. When you read it, it causes everything to get very slow for a moment.
Nice. So I can slow time a little bit.
Just for a moment.
For a moment? How long does the scroll last?
I mean, for a moment. It's
Oh.
mazes. Like the action is called a moment. Like,
Oh, I take that. Yeah, no, I love it. So like if I see somebody being stabbed and I read the scroll, but it suddenly slows down their thing,
Everything
and
would
it
slow
could
down.
possibly does everything get slowed? Or do I pick what gets slowed?
You picked what gets slowed.
Love it.
Loudness. Found a
I got a
potion.
98.
98. The potion of undead control.
What?
Oh. These are all just random rolls out of the Dungeons and Dragons Rules Cyclopedia,
Nice.
which is what I like to use for OSR style crazy treasures at the end of games. So when we get together next time, I will do a setup, and then we will determine if these three characters are going to be it, or if they're going to be other characters, or what we're going to do. You do have these pieces. You actually have wealth, so we can actually make some decisions at the beginning of next game. One of the things that if the filthy urchin decides, hey, I want to spend all my wealth to stop being filthy instead of adding treasure to the party, there's lots of different things that we can do, and it'll be really interesting. And I can't wait to have some more squicky, weird monsters and some weird stuff. And I thought that was super fun. How we like to finish everything, though, before we give everybody a moment to give your socials, is like a moment of talk about something that somebody else did that you thought was awesome. Moments of awesome. And I'm gonna throw mine out. Besides Shank Radius, is definitely my favorite. I'm gonna stay outside of Shank Radius. I thought that was really good, but I also super loved the chance to do a flashback, to expand on that. I thought that was a really cool way, because I just kind of assumed that you guys might attack the piece. So the fact that you found a completely non-violent way through that was really cool, using the mechanics in a really cool way. I thought that was super awesome. And I liked, Todd, I love the fact that you just kept, when you would notice, you would be like, oh, wait, I'm actually a very special woman. And your voice would change. You would explain to you all for a moment. I thought all that stuff was awesome. If you guys want to share any moments that you thought were awesome.
I love loudness kind of accidentally saving the party. No, I'll say reticently saving the party by brain shanking the spider thing and giving us our ears back. I like that. And then MC the cinema of Grumble's cursing with the eyeball rising behind it. I could hear the score. Like it's that moment in Aliens behind Newt.
Yes.
I like that. And then all in all, I think globally the gestalt of Grimble's fashion sense and appreciation of fine fabrics, as well as the fetching on the shrub mask ensemble. I am all in for that.
Well, my favorite, some of my favorite moments were definitely when that moment where Loudness in the beginning was like, F this, I'm out of here. And then moment of like, oh, all right, we're gonna have to go back.
I do love that you joined her though. You were just like, oh, Loudness is out. Oh, I guess we could just run away. Sounds great. I'm in.
Yeah.
And then the reluctant, like, accidental killing of that brain spider creature. I just love, like, that just fits
Legend.
Loudness' character to a T. Like,
the idea that like all of the experience that you've ever gained is completely by accident. Because I do like that you built Loudness with the idea that like Loudness super doesn't understand that they're good at it. It's like, oh, this is when a friend tells me to go over there and do this thing, and I just go do that because they asked me to do it.
Pretty much.
Yeah. Oh yeah, just go over there and oh, okay.
Stand here.
Yeah.
Yeah, because we're friends.
And I also really like Bella's, honestly, she's pretty much tethered to two other people who doesn't want to be there, kind of. And Bella's like, just like, you know what, we're here, we're gonna deal with it, let's get this shit done. I love that, you know, that take charge with
she recognizes the useful idiots.
Yeah, and then with the exactly with the useful idiots who are,
she's like,
kind of like,
this is what I got. You know, what is the a tool is a weapon if you hold it right.
Exactly. And also, once again, I love
and you
that.
both are tools.
Yeah. Grimble's a tool. Grimble will admit, you know, they're a tool. I also love, as Todd said, that moment in the game where Grimble's like, even though he really didn't do anything in that fight, he's kind of taking credit for it, and then he's getting like kind of comeuppance while the eye stalk creature's like behind him. Like Grimble deserves that. Grimble totally deserved that. If that totally went south, Grimble deserves it.
Some of my favorite moments, like I love that Bella is also like really like sisterly, because when you're like, yeah, she's like this badass assassin, I was like, ooh, I wish her good luck with this kid. And so she was like, dear, this is how you hold a knife properly, it's okay, like good job. And I was like actually like, oh, like really like moved by that. I was like, oh, like she's actually really soft. And Grimble in general would just like open his mouth and I would basically have to cover my face. Like Strawberry Mansions, and that being the reason why I got like the watch by this like Christmas light.
I took cold damage because you were a fashion cop.
Right. You're like, oh my god, this is fine velvet.
Nice fabric. Yeah.
I love that. And in general, I just like really love the world, like the setup. I was like sitting there my notes being like, oh.
I just love how immediate you get into everything.
Mm-hmm.
I just like I like how nimble the combat is, how nimble the world is. The roles just kind of keep pushing you forward. Mm-hmm. There's not a lot of sitting and crunching, even though there is thought that has to go into the things. It just keeps it. It's lubricated in the best way. It's lubed. You have a really well lubed game.
It's a well lubed game.
Yeah.
And on that note, everyone, let's talk about how you can reach and talk to everybody.
Yep.
You can find us on the internet. Why don't we start with you, Todd?
I am Todd Stashwick on Twitter. I am T Stashwick on Instagram. And I have a site where I make nerdy merch based on shows that I've been on and fantasy RPG called The Nerd Circus. I got this lovely D&D inspired tiki cocktail book called Mystic Libations. And
It's really
I sell
cool.
dice and dice towers and glasses and t-shirts. And so the nerdcircus.com. That's where you can find me. And then I'm on shows that are streaming if you want to watch me act more. That's all. That's what I got. That's all I got. I'm throwing to someone else.
That's all you got. Who's next?
I'm throwing to someone else. Anyone?
I'll take it. I'll take it. Hi. My name is Anaya Monet. Thank you so much for watching. You can find me on TikTok at Babylon, Baevalon. I am going to be making TikToks both about the campaign, which I'm going to talk about in a second, that I run. My general kind of like love of lore, games, and like witchy things and stuff like that. Because I'm also a narrative designer and a game designer. I work for Tender Claws. We have some really cool products coming up. So please stay tuned and follow their socials as well. And then I also run a D&D podcast called Season of the Funk. It is a game about heavily inspired by the aesthetics and kind of overall feel of the 70s, also happening in a world when an apocalypse may or may not have happened. No one quite remembers. So you can find that on Spotify and Apple Music. Season of the Funk. Yeah.
Love it.
Thank you.
I'm way into that.
Thank you.
You just said a whole bunch of words that are things that are like, oh,
Yeah.
Chris is
Fantasy, RPG, 70s. You basically just described my childhood.
Feel free to let me know what you think of it, because I'm always looking for like feedback.
Yep.
I guess I'll take the baton next. I'm Michael Powell. You can find me all over the internet on my social medias, which is usually at Mr. Kapow. That's MRKAPAO. Or my Facebook page, which is facebook.com/Michael Powell Does Stuff, because I do a lot of stuff like my YouTube channels. For TTRPG stuff, you could check out Fantastic Tales of Adventure, or if you like horror, I got Dastardly Tales of Horror. Also, I also run a geek fashion site called suitupgeekout.com. And currently I am also on a game that's every other Friday on Johananon here on Twitch called Threefold, which is basically kind of like Mighty Max meets Stargate SG-1, where I play a hapless delivery guy named Max. So yeah, that's really fun, a lot of fun. And so yeah, that's what I got.
Hey everybody, my name is Chris O'Neill, and I am part of Ninth Level Games. You can find us everywhere on the internet at 9thlevel.com or at Ninth Level Games on all of the social medias. You can get me personally at AllAleKingTord on Twitter, and you can join us on the Discord. We have a polymorph Discord where we talk about all these things. And as I said at the beginning of this and other shows are always on our YouTube channel, which is /Ninth Level Games. I want to thank all of you for being on the show. This was super awesome, and I can't wait to play with you all again. It's going to be really cool, and I want to see some things and build. Our behind the scenes awesome guy Ryan Omega. Ryan had made a comment earlier about he liked the fact that this was like a group of disaster thieves that were just banging forward, and I want to see what happens when we twist this, because one of the big things that we can do with mazes is we're not stuck in kind of like, all right, well, now the next level, we got to do the next thing. So I think you'll all be interested for the twist that I'll throw at you next time, and I'm looking forward to it. So thank you all for watching. Thanks for coming out. We'll see you all again on Live Action Roleplay. Thank you.
Bye.
Take care.
Bye.
Bye.